So these movements started nearly simultaneously. Nobody could succeed anywhere. Maududi also failed badly. Maulana Maududi also contributed to that movement of going back to Quran, He wrote an exegesis of Quran, keeping in view especially the modern educated people, to reach their minds, their brain. And he expounded the politico-socio-economic system of Islam. This is the Islamic state, and I take him and accept him till today, although I left his Jama'ah about half a century before. But till this date I admit, the greatest political thinker of Islam of the 20th century was Maududi. I quoted that he coined that term of theo-democracy. He wasn't. His writings on the concept of Islamic State, they are, I think, till date, till today, the best and most comprehensive. His thoughts about social system of Islam were also 100% correct, and I agree with them. Only regarding the economic system, he remained somewhat backward. He could recognize the evilness of interest on cash, but not the interest on land, absentee landlordism. He declared it to be lawful, which I told you was declared by Abu Hanifa as haram, forbidden. By Imam Malik, forbidden. By Shafi, forbidden in open field, only allowed when there is some crop under a garden, in a garden, but not in the open field. So this was his shortcoming. He was short of the spirit of the time. For the revival of Islam, these things have to be made clear. Number two, but here, before I go to number two, I must accept that by and large, his exposition of Islamic system of life is correct. And he did it in a very simple language, easy, and using the terminology of the time so that he could reach the minds of the modern educated people, in which he succeeded. I myself, one of his followers. But what were the lacking points? Number one, I told you, absentee landlordism. Number two, all his emphasis was on Islam as a politico-socio-economic system, not on Iman. The basis of Islam is Iman, the living faith, the burning faith, the personal conviction in the existence of Allah and His attributes, His unity. Burning faith in the life hereafter, that is the real life, not this. The emphasis on Iman was not there. As if it was taken for granted, just as the religious movements, the other, they take it for granted because he is a Muslim, he is a Mu'min. No. That is why I started, my second lecture was the difference between Islam and Iman. So no movement, Islamic movement, can succeed unless it succeeds in taking the roots of Iman to the depths of the hearts of the people. So this was his primary mistake. I have discussed about it in that pamphlet, Islamic Renaissance. But when he came over to Pakistan, for 6 years he was true to his methodology that he initiated, derived from the seerah and life of Muhammad. He kept true. He kept away from the Muslim nationalist movement, Pakistan movement. He said, if this movement succeeds, another Muslim nation state would come, not Islam. Because the people who are running this movement, they are not practicing Muslims even. Qaid-e-Azam was not a practicing Muslim. The majority of the leadership of Muslim League was not practicing Muslims. So another Muslim state would be added to already existing. To form and establish Islamic State, you have to follow a special strategy and methodology to be derived from the methodology of Muhammad. But when he came over to Pakistan after partition, for 3-4 years he retained his revolutionary ideology and revolutionary methodology. And the first achievement was that he now owned, co-opted the slogan of Muslim League. Why do we want Pakistan? For Islam. Using that sentiment and slogan, he said, now because Pakistan has been established on this basis, the constitutional foundation of this state should be on Islam. He edited a demand, and this demand, his party, although very small party, but very active, very committed people, they propagated it, demand. And all the Muslims supported it. Even the sincere Muslim Leaguees, they supported it. The result was that the objectives resolution was passed in 1949, which stated, I told you the first principle of Islamic State is that sovereignty belongs to God. It is in clear words, sovereignty is for Allah. We have no claim over sovereignty. All the powers or authority that we have is a sacred trust to be used within the limits of the Sharia, book of Allah and the tradition of His Prophet. So it was a big success, and so to say, the foundation stone of Khilafah was established. Then there was a hue and cry. Whose Islam will you establish? The Shia Islam, the Sunni Islam, the Brelvi Islam, the Deobandi Islam? Whose Islam? Then the other great achievement was of the ulama. 31 ulama gathered at Karachi, representing all the sects, all shades of opinion. And they adopted 22 principles of Islamic constitution and agreed upon by all, Shia, Sunnis, Brelvis, Deobandis, Ahle Hadith, Jamaat Islami, and so on and so forth, the top leadership, to silence those who were objecting, whose Islam will you enforce? But the very next year, Maulana Maududi committed the biggest blunder, Himalayan blunder of his life. He thought that we had adopted the slogan of Muslim League, Pakistan for Islam, and we started a movement of demand of the constitution on that basis, and we succeeded. Now if we enter the